71 seconds. That is all it took for Ismael Saibari to rip the heart right out of Scotland's World Cup dream and send Boston absolutely wild. The fastest goal of this entire tournament. A Scotland team that arrived in Boston needing just one positive result to reach knockout football for the very first time in their history, and within 2 minutes of kickoff, their game plan was in tatters. But here's the twist. That's not even the biggest story, because later in the match, deep in a second half where Scotland were throwing everything forward, Scott McTominay went down in the penalty area, and nothing was given. Was that the moment that changed Scotland's entire World Cup? Let's break it all the way down. Welcome to SoccerVault, your #1 stop for World Cup 2026 breakdowns, delivered with the passion this tournament demands. Subscribe, hit the bell, and let's get into it. Context and backstory. Before the whistle, let's set the scene. Group C at this World Cup was always going to be the group of death: Brazil, Morocco, Scotland, and Haiti. On paper, 2 heavyweights, 1 rising African giant, and 1 fairy tale underdog. In reality, heading into June 19th, the group had already thrown up a remarkable subplot. Morocco had gone toe-to-toe with Brazil in their opening match, and Ismael Saibari had scored against the Samba boys to earn the Atlas Lions a crucial draw. Scotland, meanwhile, had beaten Haiti in their Group C opener, banking 3 vital points that put them in an extraordinary position. Win against Morocco on June 19th, and Scotland would become the first team from their nation to progress past the group stage in World Cup history. Not once in any World Cup campaign have Scotland ever made it out of the groups. Not once. Steve Clarke's men came to Boston knowing exactly what was on the line. The Tartan army had traveled in their tens of thousands, green, yellow, and blue colors everywhere you looked, daring to believe. This was the night Scotland would finally rewrite history. And then Walid Regragui's Morocco side kicked off, and within the first 2 minutes, Scotland's dream was hanging by the thinnest possible thread. The first 71 seconds. 71 seconds. The fastest goal of the 2026 World Cup. Here is exactly how it happened. Brahim Diaz, the Real Madrid playmaker who plays for Morocco after representing Spain at youth level, picks up the ball in a central midfield position and immediately switches play to the right flank. He spots Saibari making a sharp diagonal run in behind Scotland's backline. Grant Hanley steps up to cut off the run, and he reads it catastrophically wrong. He is caught flat-footed, caught out by the pace of the movement and the precision of the delivery. Saibari collects the pass, takes 1 touch to compose himself, and then thunders a fierce effort into the top left corner of Angus Gunn's net. Gunn had absolutely no chance. The Boston crowd erupted. Scotland were stunned. And the game was already being defined by those first 71 seconds. But let's talk about Saibari, because this was absolutely not a fluke. The PSV Eindhoven attacking midfielder just completed the best season of his career, 19 goals and 9 assists in 37 matches, earning the Eredivisie Player of the Season award and a 3rd consecutive Dutch title with PSV. He scored against Brazil in round 1. He scored after 71 seconds against Scotland. He has now scored every single goal that Morocco have registered at this World Cup. Ismael Saibari is exploding onto the world stage. And per Fabrizio Romano, one of Europe's biggest clubs is already closing in on a summer transfer. This is a superstar in the making, and tonight in Boston, the whole world got to see it. Morocco's tactical masterclass. Now let's be honest about what Morocco did here, because this performance was far more than a single brilliant goal. Walid Regragui set up his side to dominate this match from the first whistle to the last, and the statistics tell the full story. First, possession. Morocco controlled the ball to the tune of 78% in the opening half. 78%. Scotland were chasing shadows, unable to string passes together, unable to build any kind of attacking rhythm. Every time Clarke's men tried to play out from the back, Morocco's press was there. Sharp, coordinated, relentless. Saibari and Brahim Diaz were constantly shifting positions, pulling Scotland's defensive shape in multiple directions at once. Second, clinical efficiency. Morocco's expected goals figure for the match finished at 0.97. Scotland's, a meager 0.54, and here is the truly damning number. Scotland failed to register a single shot on target across the entire 90 minutes. Not one. Angus Gunn was a spectator. Scotland took 46 full minutes to even create their first shot attempt. Nearly a full half of football where they simply could not get near Morocco's goal. This was not a narrow, tight defeat. This was a tactical suffocation. Third, defensive composure. Once Morocco had the lead, they absorbed Scotland's desperate second-half pressure with calm, organized, almost effortless defending. Whenever Scotland pushed men forward, Morocco had bodies behind the ball. This was a disciplined, professional, ruthlessly efficient performance from a side with unfinished business at this World Cup. A team that reached the semi-finals in Qatar in 2022 and is clearly hunting something even bigger in 2026. The penalty that wasn't. But now we come to the moment that could define Scotland's entire 2026 World Cup campaign. Deep in the second half, Scotland are desperately hunting an equalizer, pouring men forward. Scott McTominay drives into the Moroccan penalty area with real purpose. Neil El Ainoui comes in from the side. There is contact on McTominay's lower leg. He goes down. The entire Scotland end holds its breath. Referee Ilgiz Tantashev from Uzbekistan waves it away. VAR reviews the incident and does nothing. McTominay is furious. The Scotland bench erupts in disbelief. And then ITV's official referee expert Christine Unkel sits in the studio, studies the replay, and delivers her verdict. A very clear penalty. The VAR analyst says the referee got it wrong. Duncan Ferguson is in total agreement. It should have been a spot kick, no question. Only Roy Keane dissents. I don't think it's a penalty. Simple as that. Classic Roy Keane, refusing to give Scotland a single inch. But even setting Keane's legendary stubbornness aside, the replays are genuinely damning. El Ainoui's leg makes contact with McTominay's lower leg. A foul is committed inside the box. Under normal circumstances, that is a penalty. And at 0-1, with Scotland desperately needing that equalizer, this decision, if it is wrong, is not merely a controversial moment. It is potentially the single moment that sends Scotland home from the biggest stage of their footballing lives. Hot take, here is my take, and I want you to push back hard on this in the comments below. Referee Tantashev got that penalty call badly wrong, not marginally wrong, badly wrong. When a FIFA-appointed officiating expert watches a replay and calls it a very clear penalty, that is not a tight call that went against the run of play. That is a refereeing error, a significant one. And in a World Cup group stage, where every single point, every single moment, every single inch matters, that kind of error is completely unacceptable. Scotland had two separate penalty appeals in this game. Two moments where they could have drawn level and changed the entire narrative. They got nothing from either of them. 0 shots on target, 0 reward for the grit and determination they showed in the second half. Morocco were excellent. Saibari's goal was stunning, their organization was outstanding, and they absolutely deserved to be in front. But the officiating in this match will and should face serious scrutiny. Scotland deserved better, and if they miss out on knockout football because of what happened in that penalty area, that conversation is not going away. What happens next? So where does Group C stand after June 19th? Morocco are joint top alongside Brazil, both sides level on 4 points. On the same evening, Brazil dismantled Haiti 3-0, meaning the group leader race is perfectly poised. Scotland sit third, needing a result against Brazil on June 24th to have any realistic chance of progression. Brazil, the 5-time world champions, the side that put 3 past Haiti without even shifting into top gear, managed by Carlo Ancelotti. For Scotland, June 24th is now everything. They need at least a draw, and simultaneously need Morocco to fail to beat Haiti to stay alive. That is a mountain. That is genuinely Everest. But Scotland showed real character in the second half against Morocco. They showed they will not go quietly. If Clark can find a way to unlock even a fraction of what they showed on the attack, and if they can silence Brazil the way they silenced the Tartan Army's fears against Haiti, then Group C's final day could be extraordinary. I am not writing Scotland off, not yet. For Morocco, life is good. Saibari is in the form of his life. Brahim Diaz is pulling strings at the very highest level. Their final group game against Haiti on June 24th is, on paper, a routine finish. In practice, Regragui will want his side sharp and focused as they head into the knockout stages. Because after reaching the World Cup semifinals in 2022 and playing this beautifully structured, technically superb football in 2026, Morocco look more than capable of going all the way. Outro and CTA. That is your complete, definitive breakdown of Morocco 1-0 Scotland from Group C of the 2026 World Cup, the fastest goal of this entire tournament, a penalty controversy that will fuel arguments for weeks, and a Moroccan performance that was simply first class from first minute to last. Give it up one more time for Ismael Saibari, the PSV Eindhoven king who is making the entire footballing world stop and take notice. And Scotland, do not count them out. Not yet. Not with June 24th still to come. If this breakdown got your blood pumping, smash that like button right now. Subscribe to SoccerVault so you never miss a single World Cup breakdown, and drop your take in the comments. Was that McTominay incident a stonewall penalty? Can Scotland actually beat Brazil? Can Saibari win the Golden Boot? I want to read every single one of your takes. More World Cup content is coming every single day. Stay locked in. This is SoccerVault. Let's go.